Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Joanne. If you're new here, some also call me Jo. I am a late diagnosed. I don't know why, but the term late kind of annoys me because some people say it when they're in their early 20s. But I'm a late diagnosed autistic woman. I was diagnosed at 45 years old. I have three children. I raised them as a single mom, and I did homeschool them. I was a bit unconventional with my homeschooling methods, child-led learning, very relaxed. I did use some Charlotte Mason stuff in there as well, but I don't know why I'm sharing all this. I'm rambling right off the start. But if you're new here, that's just a little bit about me. All my children are married. Like I said, I was a single mom, and they're all married now. We live pretty close together. I actually live on my youngest son's property, and I have 8 grandchildren so far. And I'm trying to find my groove in this YouTube channel. I've had other YouTube channels in the past. One was quite successful, but I just got so overwhelmed. I didn't know I was autistic at the time, and I got so overwhelmed with everything. I just deleted it all and never looked back. And that was about, I don't know, over 5 years ago, but I just can't remember how long ago it's been. So I'm trying to figure out where I fit and what I can do, how I can keep a channel going without getting stressed out, because I want to enjoy it. I don't want it to become a burden. So the last video I posted was kind of a chatty video as well. I talked about my September TBR, the books that to be read, and also my October, the Victober challenge. So if you enjoy reading and you enjoy reading challenges, I encourage you to check that one out. I do want to get more into these chatty type videos because I enjoy them. I enjoy just being able to turn on the video and go about my, whatever I'm doing at the time, which usually I'm in the kitchen when I listen to YouTube videos. So if I have to actually look at it, like if there's words across the screen that I have to read, I don't even try. Or if there's a lot of things that I have to actually go and look at. So I like the chatty videos, and let's just see how this goes, okay? So I did write down a few notes to keep me a little bit on track. And right now I already see that I forgot to grab something. So let me pause this. Okay, I'm back. So this video, like I said, I took some notes, and so I'm going to just chat about what I've been up to over the last few weeks, and also share some cold and flu remedies or helps that I've really appreciated over the years. So first, I would like to share that I did go to the Friday offering of the Ozarks Homesteading Expo. I didn't stay the whole day. I really wanted to see Joel Salatin's talk, but I wasn't much interested in a whole lot of the speaking. I guess when you've been doing something for so long, it's kind of more, a lot of it's geared more towards beginners. So I'm not sure when exactly our modern homesteading journey began, but I do know that even about 25 years ago, I made a list of things when I was still living in the city, and I thought I would never get to the country because I was a single mom. But I thought, well, there's stuff I can do right here, right now. So I literally made a list of everything that I could learn while living in a big city. And then I put that list in a realistic priority order. So whatever I could start with first, that was highest priority. For example, what I mean by that is I'd love to have a rain catchment system in the city. And I do think that having your own source of water or an alternate source of water is very important, but it wasn't a very realistic thing for me to start with. So I started with baking bread. So I learned how to bake bread about 25 years ago. Canning, candle making, soap making, salves, herbs, tinctures, all of those things. So the Ozarks Homesteading Expo, it's really neat. You can kind of network and meet people in your area, and also see all the vendors. So I was really interested in seeing the garden tools. Since this was our 19th year of gardening, I know what I like and I know what I don't like. And so when I see something, it's like, hey, that's exactly what I've been wanting or looking for. And I didn't even, didn't know it had a name, didn't know it existed. So yeah, I did find a garden tool that I'm very thankful that I got. But anyway, it was nice. I'm glad I went. But like I said, I just went on that Friday, and I want to show you what I got. So the first thing that I bought, I don't know if it was the first thing, but just this cup, this mug. It's super high quality. I love the way it feels. This man lives east of, I think he said St. Joe, Missouri. And I drive through St. Joe when I head north to visit my dad in Nebraska. So I did ask him, Freeman, Missouri. So I did ask him if I could stop by. He doesn't have like a storefront or anything like that. Dave Gordon, Painting with Fire. And I'll try to remember to put these links below. But he does all sorts of things. He sells these mugs, espresso, little espresso cups, bowls, little cellars like a salt cellar, just little containers with lids, honey jars and stuff like that. And this was, I can't remember now, $28, I think. I can't remember. So one of these days on my way to see my dad, I do want to stop by there and see what else he has. So this is from Angeline Design. These are leather, 100% leather shoes. So even the soles, there's 3 layers on the sole, but it's all leather. And so I have been wanting some shoes that I could wear outside and not have to worry. I haven't stepped on any poo yet. That's why I'm touching these, but some shoes that I could wear outside in the garden and everything and not have to worry about cat mess, because we do have barn cats and they like to use my garden as a toilet, which totally disgusts me. Anyway, I like these shoes. I see several flaws in the lines and all of that. They're super comfortable. They just like, you put them on and they hug your feet. I really like the shoes a lot. That's why I overlooked the flaws. They were $110, and I can't help but wonder if she maybe hurried through some just to have more for the Homesteading Expo. So she does do custom, and I think she charges $135 for custom ones, and she has 3 different styles. So this was one of the styles that just, it has a tongue and it laces up and it ties. She had kind of a Mary Jane style where the laces went around your ankle, which I don't like those. I have super thin bones, and usually shoes like that fit me terribly, and they did. So, and then she also has a slip-on style. All have the same front, the same top part. Super comfortable, and she makes them for children as well. They're cheaper for children, like $65 or something. So she is based in Springfield or Rogersville, which is east of Springfield. Angeline Design, angelinedesign.com, and she does ship if you're interested in that. And then one more thing I got. So right when I walked into the Expo, if you guys aren't familiar with the Expo, maybe I should say what it is. It's just a big gathering of people. So there's 4 big tents. I'm going to say tents in quotes, because some of them are like more permanent covered structures. It's a county fair area, so like livestock structures and things. So there's 4 tents, and each, I don't know, like there's 3 segments in the morning and 3 segments in the afternoon. I think that's how it went. And so each tent had something going on in it, and you could choose which one you wanted to go to, or you could ignore all of it and just walk around and look at the vendors. So, and there were a lot of vendors. So right when I walked in, I saw the very first booth that I saw was homemade garden tools. And so I talked to the guy for a minute. I told him about a tool that my son-in-law makes. My son-in-law grew potatoes in the mountains of Peru for like 4 years or something, for several years. And the garden tool that he uses for that is just a homemade, he uses a pre-made shovel, but he alters it. And so I told the guy about that, told him he had a video and I would send it to him, but I'd be back later to buy a tool because I didn't want to carry the tool around with me the whole time. So when I came back later, I asked, his wife was there at that point and he was sitting down. I didn't see him. But I looked at her, I said, okay, I said, you guys have so many neat looking tools displayed on this table. It was a really big table. I said, what's your favorite tool? What tool do you use all the time in the garden? And she just lit up. She said, actually, I only use 2 tools on this table for the garden, and I use both of them all the time. And so this was one of them. And right away when I saw it, I thought, oh, yes, I can see that's really useful. So she started explaining what she uses it for. And I said, oh, you just sold it to me right there. And then the other one that she had was that she used all the time. They were sold out. So I did get their card. It's called Herbs and Iron, homesteadiron.com, because she sells herb type stuff and then he sells the iron. So nice, super nice people. And yeah, so I will definitely be getting that other tool from them when I have the chance. They are local-ish. I think they live south of me, but it doesn't say where they're at on the card. So that was the big Homesteading Expo outing. And now, let's see. The next thing I guess I'll talk about is my daughter-in-law has been rotating the goats. So we have 4 pastures. And like I said, I live on my youngest son's property. We have 4 pastures and there's a barn right in the middle. And so you can let them out into, this side or that side. And, so you can separate them and all. We have cows and goats in the pasture and chickens. So they're all together. But for some reason, she's been rotating them outside of the pasture and using electric fence. Now, I haven't asked her why she's doing that, but so the goats some of the goats are tricksters, as y'all who have goats know. And they're Sanins. So my children and I got Nigerian dwarf goats. I don't even know how many years ago, lots of years ago. And my daughter and son-in-law took those over when my youngest son got married because his wife raises Sanins and she's raised them like for 20 years. Not quite 20. She's like 24 or something. I don't know how old she is. 15 years or something, since she was young. Anyway, so we separated the goats. The Nigerian dwarfs are now at my daughter and son-in-law's house. They've been there for several years. And the Sanins are here. And one of them was in heat, and that's why she was separated, actually. She's been coming up to my porch, knocking over the mums, trying to eat them. She's been coming onto the back. Is this Chico Bob? She's been coming onto the back porch, knocking down my bird seed feeder tray and eating all the black gold sunflower seeds out of it. And then she'll go around and drink the water out of the bird bath. So she's draining the bird bath. It is September 20th today, and it's going to be above 95 degrees. It's really warm here. So those birds need the water, and yeah, she's been stealing it. But anyway, then unknown to me, she pooped. Like normally goat poop is in pellets, but she's in heat, and so her poop's not as pellety as normal. And so I didn't see it. And I was giving something to my friend. I ran outside, gave it to him. He drove away. I went back in, walked to the sink, walked to the bathroom, went to the bathroom, and then went out and went to visit my mom and stepdad. Anyway, that doesn't matter, but they live on the same property. When I went back out, I noticed the trail. I'm like, oh, I thought it was dog poo. I'm so thankful at least it was just goat poo, but I had tracked the goat mess all through the house, and yeah, it just wasn't fun. So these goats have been really, and just this morning, I don't know why there was 4 of them. So not the one I was just talking about, but there was 4 that were out, and in my mind, I'm like, there's the get along gang. I had to take my trash out. So we have a dumpster up the hill by a big shop. We have this is the business hub for the business that my son, my youngest son, and then my older son, and yeah, lots of people work for it, and this is the hub. And I say my youngest son runs it, but anyway, I'm taking the trash up before taking the dogs on their normal walk, and I see the goats up ahead. I'm like, oh. My other dog, Abby, she is like so afraid of any kind of animal, just deathly afraid. And I had the bag of trash in one hand, and I'm trying to, you walk the dogs, and they're on a leash because I live by a road, and I go, next to the property over to take them for a walk. And it's like mass chaos here. She's scared she won't move because of the goats. So I have to bend down and pick her up. So now I'm carrying her, I'm carrying the trash, I'm leading my other dog, and the goats are like starting to charge my little dog, Chico Bob, that was walking. Like, life on the farm, you guys. It all ended up okay. I did have to kick a few and, yell at them a little bit, but I was just, thankfully they did not follow me while I took my dogs for a walk. So that's just been a little bit of extra stress while she figures out how to work it out. I'm not sure. Anyway, I guess another thing is we did sell, we had 2 small heifers. I don't know if they were quite a year old, but we did sell those, and that was really nice because they brought a couple $1,000, and we bought, I say we, my son and my daughter-in-law bought a nice Jersey bull for the cows that we have. So we have 2 cows and then another heifer. So anyway, so that was nice. Selling the young heifers more than paid for that nice Jersey bull. So he's a young guy, so he won't be ready till next year. So that's kind of what's going on around the farm. The garden season is, my daughter-in-law is actually finally getting some zucchini. It's been a bad year for gardening. I've said it before, but I don't know if I posted the video or not because I kind of get weird about posting videos. This is my 19th year of gardening, and it's been the worst gardening year ever. It was horrible. So it has rained one time in the last 4 months, and our water table is so low, even our like 350 foot well is struggling to keep up. So it's just rained. It's rained one time in the last 4 months. I've only mowed the yards. I say the yard, like I'm not talking city yard. I mow probably like 5 acres, give or take, of actual lawn because there are 3 houses here on my youngest son's property. One time in the last like almost 4 months, just amazing. It's been horrible. So I'm waiting for the weather to be consistently cooler, which it looks like next week it's going to start being consistently cooler, so I can tuck my garden up, just clean it up, add more mulch, fertilize, and put it to bed for the winter. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It's been kind of rough. Let's see. Another interesting thing that's happening right now with the weather, like I said, it's been really hot and dry and humid. I don't know how that works, but this is Southwest Missouri, so the humidity is a killer. Like this morning, for example, I was going for my walk. I left the house at 6:50. It was 75 degrees outside and just like sweaty, humid. The sun hadn't even shown yet. It was still down enough to where you couldn't see it. So, but this time of year is when all the black walnuts are falling. And so it's like I have to wear a hard hat on the property if I'm going to go under the trees. But I was just hanging up some laundry in the back. I have some lines that go across the back porch. And I actually got the laundry ready inside before I went outside. So like shaking it out and putting it in the right order to where all I have to do is quick, put it over the line, put it over the line, put it over the line. Quick, put on the clothespins and get back inside so I wouldn't get pelted by black walnuts. That hurts, So anyway, so that's been kind of this time of year, I just have to be really mindful of that. Yes. Another thing that I was going to mention is that my dad did come for a visit. It was a pretty quick visit, but it was nice. So we had a couple of family meals. One of the nights we met at the city park where I take a walk, and most of the grandchildren had their little bikes or something with them, and We played pickleball and all that stuff. So we had a really nice time with my dad. I'm always glad when he can come and visit. I've been trying to walk at the park again more. It was just too hot in the summertime. So I took a break from walking every day at the park and just did all my exercising inside. But I'm trying to incorporate that back into my daily schedule, or at least, 4 or 5 times a week. So it's been really nice. I love this time of year walking. The acorns are falling, the leaves are falling. I smile when I get to step on just the perfect acorn. It just makes the perfect crunch. And then the leaves too, the crispy leaves. Yeah, I don't know. It just makes me smile. And I literally go out of my way to step on various leaves and acorns. I don't care who's watching. It just makes me happy. But like I said, it's still hot. It's warm in my house right now. I didn't have the air on. I wasn't mindful of getting the air on this morning, and it was just so warm already. So I'm sitting here sweating, you guys. But I did turn the air on. Hopefully it'll catch me up before lunchtime. So yeah, I'm just trying to up my walking again, but while still doing the exercises. So I did start the program Athlean XX. My youngest son does the Athlean X program. I'll try to put a link down below, but the Athlean XX is for women, XX, and it's kind of kicking my butt. I'm just on day 5 or 6, I think. It's like, yeah. This morning I was only able to walk 2 miles because there was a lot of leg work in my exercise video. So, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm seeing changes in my body that are positive. I'm just trying to get a little bit more strength. So I don't want to be a bodybuilder or anything. I think that looks really disgusting. I'm sorry if that's you, you do you, but I don't like it. I just want to be strong. I just want to have strength to keep hiking and walking for as long as possible. So that's my motivation. I bumped my elbow on this wooden chair and he thought somebody was knocking at the door. Anyway, so that's been going really well, and I'm glad I'm doing it. But there are some videos that I was doing on YouTube before I joined the Athlean X program, XX. Workout with Roxanne, I think that's her name. She's from Australia or New Zealand. I think Australia. I really enjoy her videos, and she has a really nice, the way she does her playlists. So yeah, you'll just have to see it. Check out her playlist and I'll Workout with Roxanne. And there's a couple other ones that I've been doing and appreciating, but she's the one that comes to mind. Now, for what Crystal at Homemaking on the Homestead was talking about, she was kind of my inspiration or motivation for this chatty video. I enjoy her chatty videos. I think I said that already, but I don't know if I actually mentioned Crystal Homemaking on the Homestead. I'll try to link her channel below. But in her recent video that she posted, she had talked about how she had these plans for trying to do this week in the life, and then she just kind of felt sick, under the weather, not super sick, but just enough to feel it. And so she talked a lot about giving yourself grace, which I'm all for that. It's really sad, but it took me a couple of decades to learn. It took my body, I went into a complete autistic breakdown, shutdown. Like, I do have catatonia associated with autism. So this lasted for about 10 or 15 years, where my body was completely shut down to where I needed to use a wheelchair or a walker or a cane to get around. Some days I couldn't even get out of bed. Yeah, some days I couldn't talk. So anyway, yeah, my body just totally rebelled against me and shut down. And I know it's with autistic people, it shut down like that, catatonia. It's like your brain is protecting itself. It's going into preservation mode. Otherwise you can have some permanent damage, which I did get some permanent damage on the right. This is the right side. I think I'm backwards. on the right side of my body. So I don't have full movement or proper movement right here, or in my right hand. The grip, fine motor, and sometimes the larger motor skills. And then right here, and then also down on my leg, and my foot. So that can really slow me down sometimes. But anyway, give yourself grace. You have to make sure that you're kind to your body and your mind. Take breaks, build in breaks and rest during the day. If you're not feeling well, take a break. It's okay. The laundry can wait. The housework can wait. Just take a break. If you stay on top of those things during your good times, then when you do have to slow down for a while, you don't get so behind and it's not so overwhelming. So yeah, that's what Crystal was just talking about, giving yourself grace, and it's okay. You know, it's all right. Just let it go. And I'm still learning how to do that, but I think I've gotten a lot better. I mean, if you could look around and see my house right now, you'd see several little projects and messes that I need to tidy up. But I was so exhausted this morning. I was like, no, I'm just going to record a video. That's what I'm going to do. So anyway, check out that video if that sounds good to you. Again, I'll link it below. But now I wanted to talk about what she went into talking about home remedies or helps for yourself when you're not feeling well. So one thing that I really like to do, so we grow elderberries, and each year, my oldest son is the one that grows the elderberries, and they didn't do so well this year, but thankfully they did really well the last several years, and I still have some elderberry juice concentrate from that. So, but I did get some this year. Each year he brings, whenever he has time or whatever, he'll just bring me a bucket or two of elderberries still on the flower, just, if you know elderberries, you know what I'm talking about. Like that. So he just cuts them off up here, and then gives me a whole group. So of just buckets of bundles of elderberries. And I cut off the thicker stems, but I put them in a steam juicer and I steam juice the elderberries. Once I figured out to do that, it revolutionized my relationship with elderberries. So it's so much faster than how I was doing it before. So I steam juice them, and then I take that juice, I simmer it until it's reduced by half, and then I can it. So this is the reduced elderberry juice, and it's ready to make into elderberry syrup. So there's no sugar in here or anything like that. I do add 1/8 teaspoon of food grade citric acid from Azure Standard into each half pint jar. And this one, it looks like I got the headspace a little too big. The headspace is 1/4 inch. And for me, I water bath them for 11 minutes, but your times might be different. I'm just above 1,000 feet. So anyway, now I have several jars, and I share them with friends and family, but of reduced elderberry juice. So what I do is I just take this, I dump it out into a pan. I add whatever spices. I do have, my go-to that I use, but I forgot to write it down here to share with you guys. Try to remember to put it in the description box. But, or maybe I'll put it on my Substack. I think I'll put it on my Substack because I'm trying to use the Substack more. So I'll put a link to the Substack article down below once it's published with the recipe that I use. So, but I just put the juice in a pan, I heat it up, and then I simmer different spices like cloves, cinnamon, turmeric, cardamom, nutmeg, rose hips for the vitamin C, just a bunch of stuff. I just do it all. And I don't strain it. So once it's done simmering for a while, I think I simmer it for about 20 minutes, then I remove it from the heat and I let it cool off to room temperature, stir in some raw honey, stir in some fresh lemon juice, and that's it. So that's my elderberry syrup. It's filled with all sorts of good stuff. So that's one thing that I'll do when I feel a little bit under the weather. I will take a tablespoon of my elderberry syrup several times a day. And I don't add as much honey as a lot of people do, just because I don't think sugar is good for you when you're not feeling well. So, okay, another thing that I do is I will make, if you guys have been here a while, or if you know me, you know that I love blue painter's tape. I use it on all sorts of things. So I will make the tinctures. This is an elderberry tincture and then a ginger and turmeric tincture. And I did put some pepper, astragalus, and ashwagandha in with the ginger and turmeric tincture. So I did a 1-to-2 ratio of the ginger, turmeric, all of that with the vodka. So 2 parts of the herbs and 1 part vodka. And then with the elderberry, I did 1 part vodka to 2.5 parts of the dried elderberry. So anyway, I let that sit for however long, at least 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, and shake it once in a while, and then strain it off. And then I added, I put the 2 together. Anyway, so that I did this actually a year ago. So, and I started off in a 1/2 gallon jar. This is a quart jar. So I still have quite a lot left. I do not need to make any for this season. Put it in a little dropper jar, and then I actually take 3 droppers of this several times a day when I'm not feeling good. I just put it right in my morning water, and then again once or twice at least throughout the day in my other water. So that's a really nice tincture to have on hand. And then this respiratory tea, I make these labels, and this is steeping right now. I just need to strain it. But I do have, this is some already made. I've got plenty of it. So here's my label, and then if I can, I'll put this right on the back, the recipe, before laminating it. But in this case, I did not. So I just wrote it on a little card and slipped it in. So the respiratory tea, my daughter-in-law's mom actually gave me this recipe several years ago, and I think she got it from Be Your Own Doctor, that book. But anyway, 2 parts peppermint, 1 part oregano, and then a 1/2 part each of echinacea, mullein, comfrey, leaf, and nettle. So, and then you want to alternate the comfrey. You don't want to put the comfrey in every time. So if you make smaller batches, or if you make bigger batches, make 1 big batch with comfrey, 1 big batch without comfrey, and then just alternate while you're taking the tincture if you're taking it for several weeks at a time. So let's say you have like chronic bronchitis or something like that. You don't want to be taking comfrey a lot. I go by what this guy says. I love this book, Making Plant Medicine, and I will put a link to this below. But yeah, so you do want to alternate that comfrey, and then when you take, that's the tincture. So you take that, 1 dropper full several times a day. But the tea, if you just want to mix the herbs together, you can then make a tea with the herbs. So I just use like 1 tablespoon of herbs per cup of hot water. I let it steep for about 5 to 10 minutes and then strain it off and drink it. And then one more thing that I like to do when I'm not feeling the best. So Crystal had mentioned garlic, and I love garlic a lot, but it doesn't love me back. It actually hurts my stomach. I get a stomach ache and I get gas and bloating. I didn't know that. So all the years I had went just eating as much garlic and onion, does it to me too, as I can. And it's just, there's something about it. It's way too heating for my body, and my body cannot handle it. So I do, once in a while, I will test it and see if I can handle it now. And so far I haven't been able to. So I avoid garlic as a general rule, and onion. But if there's just a little bit of garlic or a little bit of onion in something, and my family knows that as well. So, which it's unfortunate because I just really, it's so good. Garlic and onion, just so good. But, yeah, so I will do oil of oregano instead. And I do have a essential oil distiller, and I distill my homegrown oregano to make my own oregano essential oil. But before I had my own still, I would use this My Kind Organics oil of oregano. I'll link it below. So when I'm starting to not feel good, I will take an empty gel cap and put in, not a gel cap. I don't eat gelatin, just in case it's pork derived. If it's beef, that's okay. But It's a veg cap that I get from Azure Standard. Empty. And I put in about 5 drops of the oil of oregano, and then fill up the rest with MCT oil or just some other oil as a carrier. That's a little bit gentler on your stomach. And then I do take it right before I have food. So about 3 times a day, I'll do that. And you don't want to do that for a long time. It's a nice parasite cleanse. It's oil of oregano, look it up. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful. It does everything. Antifungal, antiviral, anti-everything, bacterial, all that stuff. So it's a very powerful herb. You want to be careful, and it's super spicy. That's why I put it in a gel cap, and then I put the carrier oil in it and swallow it that way with the cap. Another thing that I do, if my head is just full and, sinuses or chest, lungs, all of that, I will bring a saucepan of water to a good simmer, like a real obvious simmer. Keep it on the simmer, put in 4 or 5 drops of the oregano oil, put a towel over my head and breathe in that steam that's coming up. And I do set a timer for 3 minutes, so I know that I'm at least breathing in for 3 minutes. If you've got a lot of yuck, you're going to be coughing and hacking, and it comes up. It really comes up. There's going to be yuck running out your nose and your mouth while you're trying to breathe this stuff in. If you get too close to it, the heat might bother you, and or the actual oil of oregano itself, since it is so spicy, you're going to feel it going into your lungs. So you want to be careful. It's better to start a good foot, at least a good foot away from that steam at first, and then just lower down just until you learn what works best for you. So be careful, but do that several times a day as well to help. And one other thing that I didn't think to bring any props. If my ears aren't feeling good, I will use garlic for that. It doesn't come out in my pores, or it doesn't go into my stomach. So one thing I will do, use fresh garlic for, is just press or finely chop one small to medium sized clove of garlic into a little dish, completely cover it with very high quality extra virgin olive oil. I like to use the fresh pressed kind, and let it sit overnight or all day long. Strain it out completely, 100% strain out all the garlic, and then put it in a dropper bottle. And I like to warm up the drops in, just make a cup of hot water, take your hot water, put your dropper right inside of it, and just make sure it doesn't go up over the top, just in case the lid's not on properly. Let that heat up, and then drop it into your ears. So that is one thing. And if you have mullein flowers, which I haven't been able to grow myself yet. Mullein is a biennial, so it goes to flower the second year, and mine always dies after the first year. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I haven't, you learn, or you discover, or you better yourself in stages. It's like, I just can't, I'll just forage them. I'll keep foraging the flowers. But anyway, so yeah, doing soaking the mullein flowers in the oil is really good as well. So those are some homemade healthcare type things that I really like. Crystal shared on hers about a garlic lemon herbal tea, garlic lemon herbal tea with honey in it, and a few other things. I do want to say I'm not against over-the-counter medicine. It's just like my last resort. So it's all just a mask, right? So if I am sick, and I've been sick for a while, and my body is just so dragged down, and when my body's stressed out, I start to have neurological glitches. I'll tell you some of them. I start to lose control of my bladder. So I'm peeing on myself. It's just terrible. And then I have a, on my bra line, kind of on the back right here, I can't quite get there to show you, but, it's a sharp stabbing pain, and it takes my breath away. So I know that my body is getting stressed out when I either start peeing myself and or get that sharp pain in my on my bra line. Hard to explain it, but it's like a little touch hurts. It just hurts. But yeah, anyway. So if I have to, I will take something like a Robitussin nighttime or something like that just to knock me out. I've tried taking a shot of alcohol, like a hot toddy, but I have such a strong aversion to most alcohol that it's just like, I just can't even make it through a hot toddy. I like the idea of it. I think it's really, it's good for most people. Just, obviously if you're not an alcoholic or something, you don't want to cause yourself to stumble. But I do think there's a benefit for it, but I just can't, personally, I can't handle it. So I can barely choke down the Robitussin or something like a NyQuil or something. It just totally disgusts me. But if that's what I have to do to get a good night of sleep after several nights of not getting sleep, I will. So last resort, over-the-counter medicine, I'll do something like that, but it's not, as a general rule, I try to avoid. So I hope this was a nice, helpful video for somebody. And let me know what you thought. If you have your favorite home remedies, go ahead and post them below in the comment section. And again, I will put this a link to this book, because this is it Richo or Rico? I never know how to say his name, so I just avoid saying it. But I like him. I think he's great. He's very knowledgeable. He's accessible. And this book kind of looks new, actually, but I've had it several years. It is very well worn. And I base most of my herbal stuff off of this, but also the 10 essential herbs. I should just do a herb video sometime. I've got piles of herb books. I actually studied herbalism officially for a while, but it just got so overwhelming. Like, I just keep going back to this and 10 essential herbs, which I got 10 essential herbs about 25 years ago. And it's very accessible to just your normal everyday person. She uses everyday items, everyday kitchen herbs, and except with the people paste. And so, yeah, just get 10 essential herbs. I'll put a link to that as well. And yeah, I want to do a September TBR wrap up. So that will probably be my next video, in like a week and a half or something, whenever September is over. Thanks for watching, guys, and check out my Substack and whatever other links I put below. Have a good day.